You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Sister Wives fans. So we've got Sob and Robyn once again trying to rewrite history about her kids and Kody Brown. Fans find it creepy every time she does it, but here we go again. But before we get into Robyn's newest move to create history where none exists, please hit that subscribe button. Let's not forget that Kody is not Robyn's first husband, and her three oldest kids are the product of her marriage with David Jessop. But from way back in the day, Robyn tried to erase her three oldest kids' bio dad, and she literally created some fake history, reinventing them as Kody's kids from the start in the most bizarre way possible. Now, we may call it fake news, fictional history, but Robyn called it back then making a memory, creating a moment of time. If you do not recall, I will refresh your memory and I will include visual aids. So back when Kody courted and married Robyn, of course, he legally divorced Meri Brown so he could legally marry Robyn. This was important because they were undoing her actual history with her ex, David Jessop, and literally rewriting it. Because when you adopt kids, you get a new birth certificate and it lists a new dad, right? We're undoing all kinds of history. Back then, Robyn was eager to erase Dayton, Aurora, and Breanna's father from their lives. David Jessop signed his paternal rights away, and Kody adopted the three kids legally after he ditched first wife Meri in a divorce to make his union to Robyn totally legal in the eyes of the law. So in fan opinion, and we heard it back at the time, they saw Kody taking over as the kid's dad, came on the heels of Robyn, in fan opinion, allegedly pushing her ex-husband David to relinquish those legal rights. Then, with the adoption secured, Robyn went a step further, and this is where it gets weird, and she created what many thought was a really creepy piece of art to represent and manifest how she swapped the kid's bio dad for their adoptive new dad, Kody. So look at the portrait here of Kody with three very young kids. It's a little sketch. At the time, what it looked like was Robyn took a family picture that had been of Kody and Christine and a couple of their young kids, and she used it as a baseline model for this sketched portrait of a younger Kody, way younger than when Robyn met him. You can tell by the hair alone. And then she replaced Christine's kids with her three, since Robyn and Kody hadn't made any spawn of their own yet biologically. And then here's a shot from that scene from the Sister Wives episode where Robyn made this big deal and she presented the portrait to a stunned Kody to show him the memory she had created retroactively, in other words, that she'd photoshopped replacing Christine with her own kids. Fans were stunned. Some of Kody's other wives and kids were clearly disturbed by it. And when Robyn presented it to Kody, she did a whole tear-stained thing, a little emotional presentation, kicking it off. And this is back when she was quickly earning the nickname Sob and Robyn from fans. And a lot of viewers were creeped out by Robyn just rewriting history and then making this art to commemorate that fake history and kind of cement it into the family legacy. Even Kody looked confused back in that episode, and many fans theorized that Robyn was jealous that the other three wives and all their kids had this deep history with Kody that she didn't have and could never have. And so she plucked some out of thin air. Even now, with Robyn as Kody's one and only wife, it seems she may be bothered by his history with Christine and Meri and Janelle. And Robyn also seems to have a problem with the history of Kody's other 13 kids. So fans are seeing Robyn trying to compare her kids to Kody's other kids. So from watching all the past seasons that most of Janelle and Christine's kids have been estranged from one extent to another from Kody. And a big issue is that all his time seems to go just to Robyn and just to her kids. And now, in the wake of Garrison's tragic death, it looks like either Kody got a wake-up call and wants to change, or he realized his public image is very tarnished and he wants to change that. So I don't know if he wants to change his image or himself. We'll see. Either way, Kody's trying to get back into the good graces of Christine and Janelle's kids. So back in the pandemic, Kody said Robyn's kids were the only ones that followed his rules, those really strict rules. And we've heard Kody say that Robyn's daughters have an allegiance to him that his other children don't have. And of course, since Kody's the center of Robyn's world, she's loyal, she's obedient, all that jazz. And all the things Kody said that his 3 ex-wives were not. And so fans wonder if Robyn is bothered now by Kody going to all this effort to get close once again to his other kids, those kids that are not Robyn's children, but that belong to the other wives. So on a recent episode of Sister Wives, with Kody trying to rekindle his relationship with the estranged kids, that means it's going to take some of his focus off of Robyn's kids. And so some of the fans are wondering if she is jealous that Kody is looking back at his own history. For instance, when he talked about taking Garrison home to bury him in Wyoming, where Kody grew up on his dad's ranch. That's also a place where Janelle and other of Kody's ex-wives have roots, but not Robyn, at least not until recently. She said that she and Kody are making a trip to Wyoming once a year so Robyn's kids can build roots in the state that Kody considers home. And fans kind of jumped all over this. Some people were saying you don't make roots this way, besides the fact that her kids have their own roots, which came from their biological father and Robyn way before Kody Brown came into their lives, despite that faked up portrait attempting to rewrite actual history. So Sister Wives fans have been commenting on social media about Robyn erasing, deleting, and completely dismissing her kids' origins, like the kids didn't even exist before Kody came into the picture, you know, or somehow implying that their true roots weren't good enough. So Robyn needed to invent new roots for her and her kids. And the portrait incident where she erased Christine and her kids wasn't the only incident like this. Robyn did something similar when Kody was holding church services for the family. This was years back. You may recall that Robyn gave what Kody called a sermon during that service, and it was all about saving your purity for marriage. But Robyn's purity reportedly was not saved for marriage. Back then, if you recall also, many of Kody's other kids were impressionable teenagers, but that didn't stop Robyn from telling them she didn't save sex for the marriage bed, and she said she regretted it even to that day. Sobbing Robyn said she wished she had waited for Kody, and the tears came flooding out. But think about it. Isn't that essentially Robyn saying she regrets Dayton, Breanna, and Aurora's origins? You know? So Robyn rewriting history, it's nothing new, but it is infuriating fans all over again because her kids already have a history that can't ever be fully erased, no matter how hard she tries. And yet Robyn keeps trying.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.